Hey there, and welcome. If you're watching this, chances are you're thinking about finding a counselor. And I just want to say that is an incredibly courageous first step. So today, we're going to dig into this guide that completely reframes how to choose a counselor, not as being skeptical, but as being wise and taking care of yourself. Let's start with the big idea behind all of this. This quote, this really gets to the heart of everything. It can feel a little weird to interview someone you're going for help, but this flips that whole idea on its head. This isn't about being suspicious, it's about being smart. It's about protecting your own hope and your own healing journey. And this guide really gets that when you're reaching out for help, you're often at your most vulnerable. So what we're talking about today isn't just some cold checklist. Think of it more like a map designed to empower you and help you find a safe person who you can really, truly trust with your story. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll touch on the mindset of just seeking help. Then, we'll get into how to gauge a counselor's whole approach, what to look for in terms of ethics, the single most important question you can ask them, and finally, a super practical toolkit you can use right away. So, let's start at the beginning, that courage to seek help. This whole vetting process is really about protecting the very hope that made you even consider counseling. It's all about honoring that initial act of bravery. Now, this brings us to a really key idea: sacred responsibility. A truly safe counselor sees what they do as way more than just a job. They get the weight of it. You can actually listen for this in the way they talk. Do they see this work as a serious, almost holy duty to protect people who are vulnerable? And that idea of a counselor's mindset leads us perfectly into our second section. We're going to look past the degrees on the wall for a second and really focus on their internal posture, those invisible qualities that make all the difference in whether you feel safe or not. And it all comes down to this one thing, really: humility. Being sincere is great, but it's not enough. Humility is what makes a counselor truly safe. It means they're teachable, they're open to feedback, and this is huge, they're willing to be held accountable. It's the ultimate protection against a counselor's own blind spots. For anyone looking for counseling that incorporates faith, this is so important. It shows the difference between genuine care and, honestly, spiritual harm. A safe counselor is not going to just throw a Bible verse at your pain like a Band-Aid. They're going to sit with you in the messy, complex reality of your suffering. And this commitment to safety, it's not just talk. It shows up in real, practical ways. It means you're in the driver's seat. They respect your pace. Sure, growth can be uncomfortable, but that discomfort should always be something you agree to, not something that's forced on you. And that last line is so powerful. Coercion is not discipleship. You should never, ever feel pressure. Okay, so we've talked about the inside stuff, a counselor's heart and mind, but that's not enough on its own. It has to be backed up by things you can actually see and verify. And that brings us to the external guardrails, the ethics and confidentiality policies that protect you. I absolutely love this point. Sometimes people create this false choice between faith and professional ethics. But this guide puts it so well. Good ethics are just a practical way of loving people well. They're the guardrails that keep everybody safe. So here's the first question you can actually ask. And a good counselor should have a clear, immediate answer. They should be able to explain their confidentiality policy, including any legal limits. And they should give it to you in writing. Any hesitation or vague answers here, not a great sign. All right, next up, and this one is a big deal: boundaries. By its very nature, the counseling relationship has a power imbalance. A safe counselor knows this and will have really firm, clear policies to keep things professional and never, ever exploitative. Their job is to serve you, not the other way around. And this last question, well, it circles right back to that word we talked about earlier: humility. Look, no counselor is an expert in everything. A great answer here shows that they know their own limits and that they have a network of other professionals to refer you to if needed. It proves their main priority is your well-being, not their own ego. Okay, get ready for this one. We've gone over some good questions, but now we get to what this guide calls the ultimate litmus test. There is one single question that can tell you more about a counselor's safety and maturity than pretty much anything else. And here's why this matters so, so much. We all have blind spots, right? And counselors are no different. A counselor who works completely alone is, frankly, a risk, but one who chooses to be under the regular oversight of their peers, that is humility in action. You can see it. So here it is, the big one, the most important question you can ask. Are you under supervision or part of a consultation group? It's direct, it's fair, and their answer will tell you almost everything you need to know. Remember, this isn't an attack, it's a wise question about their commitment to being accountable. And here's your decoder ring for their answer. A green flag is a happy, yes, of course, I'd be happy to tell you about it. They see it as a strength. A huge red flag is any defensiveness, or if they dismiss the question, or worse, claim they're too experienced to need it. That's a sign of pride, which is a major, major danger. All right, we've gone through a lot of the theory, the why and the what. So for this last section, let's get super practical and pull it all together into a toolkit that you can start using today. Think of this like your cheat sheet for that first phone call or email. You can literally have this list right in front of you. Do they sound humble? Do they talk about consent and clear boundaries? Do they have a solid answer about supervision? And does their training actually line up with what you need help with? And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. Just look at the difference. Green flags are all about clarity, compassion, and working together. Red flags are about pressure, defensiveness, and blurry lines. A safe counselor will be happy you're asking questions. An unsafe one might act like you're bothering them. So let's just land the plane here with the most important reminder. The goal isn't to find a perfect person who has it all figured out. That person doesn't exist. The goal is to find a trustworthy professional, someone who is safe because they are humble and humble because they are accountable. That's what you're looking for. And just so you know, this entire amazing and super practical framework comes from a guide put together by the team over at Restoring Hope Ministries. It's just a fantastic resource for anyone on this path. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. After going through all this, what is one question that you now feel ready and empowered to ask? Because taking charge of this process is your first real step toward finding the healing and the trustworthy care that you deserve. Thanks for joining me.